just about when we first played in a room together, and how, for me, it's like a, you know, it fits like a glove. You know, it's all of my influences and my references that come out in my playing as a drummer, pretty varied. And you're talking about two things as well. You've got songwriting and you've got musicianship and styles, and you know, and
then what you like to listen to outside of that as well.
Yeah,
which all has a big impact on how the other two things work together and on their own as well.
Because there are musicians I adore, but haven't necessarily played on my favourite records.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then there are my favourite records, which is normally because of the song. You know, I can tolerate dodgy musicians when the song's great. You know, James Gadsden, who did a lot of Bill Withers, he did, you know, all the classic Bill Withers stuff. He's an absolute geezer. Clyde Stubblefield, Jabbo Sparks, James Brown drummers.
So we're talking about a lot of sort of soul and groove players from that kind of background.
Yeah.
What about for you, Terry?
For me, it would be a mixture of, a lot of the sort of soul greats from the sort of 60s and 70s. And then, obviously, as a guitar player, it's hard not to be inspired by guys like Jimi Hendrix, who obviously have a very broad musical palette and very, very kind of pioneering at the time.
Yeah.
I think another thing that happens in this band is that although we bring a lot of these influences to the table when we make music together, I think. Well, okay, if I speak for myself, you know, I like a player like Jaco Pastorius, but it's inappropriate for me to be doing that kind of thing with that kind of sound within this band here. I'd like to think there's aspects of what he did in me because I've listened to it and played it, and it probably comes out in my playing, like what Jack was saying. You listen to these guys, these great players, and it comes out in you. But then I don't think we're ever trying to sound like...
I think it informs it without ever being too prevalent, too present. Yeah, exactly.
But also, Terry touched on a thing by saying Jimi Hendrix. I mean, Jimi Hendrix is always thought of as a guitarist, but we all love his songs. And I'm influenced by Jimi Hendrix, and including Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding and, you know, whoever, but it's also, you know, it's the songs, you know. And also Band of Gypsys album with Billy Cox and Buddy Mars.
Going back to a thing also that Jack said a moment ago about when we first met, and the way it felt in the rehearsal space when we first started playing the music that Andy had written. In this band, and all of us have played in lots of bands, a lot of musicians, you know, and I think this one feels like I'm playing myself. I can really be myself as a bassist playing this music, and that's a real privilege, man. You know, that's a great thing to go to work and be yourself. It's a very nice feeling.
Yeah, I certainly feel like that. I mean, Andy's basically the chief songwriter of the band so far. But I remember when I sort of met Andy and first heard his songs, I felt a lot like, I wish I'd written those songs, you know, and it felt really natural for me to want to play them.
Our music, though, man. It's a very different thing when you come up with just a simple idea or a basic song idea, and you take it and we make it ours, you know. Just see the little child grow up and become this wonderful, strong girl. Lost for words there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful environment to kind of foster the new ideas that you have all the time, and more as a songwriter, the more time you get to spend with these guys, you know exactly what they can do, what they want to do. And the other thing is we're always looking to push the envelope creatively, pushing ourselves performance-wise in the show, all the time looking to push. So that you know, doesn't give us any kind of limit or threshold. You know, that's one of the great things about this band.